Do you think the two ongoing wars, the Russian-Ukraine war and the Israeli-Palestine conflict, could be prevented? War has been a constant presence throughout human history, causing immeasurable suffering and destruction. As you can easily imagine from the ongoing Russian-Ukraine war and Israeli-Palestine conflict, those who suffer the most are often innocent citizens, caught in the crossfire and forced to flee their homes and communities. The economy suffers, and the cost to society as a whole is also staggering. In Israel, the war led to a 19.4% contraction in GDP in the last quarter of 2023. This is because resources are diverted towards military spending. When a lot of men are called for war, the productivity of the country decreases because there is not enough manpower to produce products. Besides, the taxes are mostly spent on the war and not on social welfare. Moreover, there is a significant impact on trade and investment. Therefore, some products imported from other countries may not be purchased, and the country may not be able to sell its products to foreign countries. However, some people may benefit from war, such as those who profit from the sale of weapons. These are usually the rich people. For example, on the 7th of October 2023, when the Israeli-Palestine conflict began, the stock price of the Lockheed Martin Corporation, the American aerospace and defense company, has soared by roughly 10%. You might wonder if the war is all about business, but have you ever wondered what increases the likelihood of war happening even if it can damage a nation severely? Historically speaking, there are three conditions that increase the chance of wars, and we are going to discuss how a nation can decrease the probability. We won't talk about the possibility of nuclear war as there is no historical record of a nuclear war. Plus, these conditions are something that is inferred from the statistical analysis of historical wars, and therefore we will not talk about the morality of the war. It's simply about how the war tends to begin and how to prevent it. The three main conditions are unbalanced military power, alliances, and political systems, and understanding these conditions helps you understand a nation's diplomatic policies. So let's get started with the unbalanced military power. Firstly, when one side holds a clear advantage over another, the potential for conflict rises. Considering the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine, Israel possesses vastly superior firepower compared to Hamas's irregular forces. When going back to the 19th century, the Mexican-American War, the invasion of Mexico by the U.S. Army that resulted in the expansion of American territory was featured by the U.S. advanced military technology. The U.S. Army possessed superior firepower compared to the Mexican Army, particularly regarding gunpowder quality and cannon capabilities. American firearms typically achieved longer ranges and higher accuracy compared to Mexican firearms. What a nation can do to counteract these imbalances is to increase a military budget for buying more advanced weapons and developing their own. Germany, for example, as of November 2023, established a €100 billion special fund to upgrade its military equipment and aims to fulfill the NATO commitment of spending at least 2% of its GDP on defense starting from 2024. Similarly, Turkey has invested heavily in domestic defense production, resulting in the development of a fifth-generation stealth fighter jet known as the TFX. The TFX is a crucial project for Turkey since Turkey was removed from the F-35 program by the United States. Therefore, it is convincing that the U.S. spends more than $700 billion annually on its military to ensure technological dominance and deter adversaries around the world. Simply speaking, you don't want to punch someone stronger or as strong as yourself. Secondly, if a nation is a member of an alliance, it is less likely to face an invasion. Alliances are formal agreements between countries for mutual support in case of war. They typically obligate allies to join military forces if one or more members face aggression from another country or party. For example, NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is an alliance, And Article 5 of the NATO treaty states that an armed attack against one member is considered an attack against all members. Therefore, the Russian-Ukraine war might have been inevitable. Here is why. NATO was founded in the aftermath of World War II to counter the Soviet Union and prevent the spread of communism in Europe. The original members included the United States, Canada, and several European countries, and NATO has expanded over the years and now holds more than 30 countries. Ukraine has been seeking to join NATO, and Russia has been wanting Ukraine. If Ukraine joined NATO, it would have been impossible for Russia to invade Ukraine because otherwise Russia has to fight against more than 30 countries. Therefore, alliances help maintain a balance of power among nations, deter potential aggressors, and provide a framework for collective security. Other than NATO, there are many alliances such as CSTO, ANZUS, SKO, EU Guam, and so on, and this itself explains how crucial for a country to join an alliance for national security. The last condition that affects the chance of wars is the form of political systems. Wars often occur when one country invades another for various reasons like territorial expansion, resource competition, and ideological differences. Therefore, the political system of the invading country plays a critical role in understanding how the war happens. The political system can be mainly divided into two systems. 1, democracy, and 2, dictatorship. As you expect, democracies tend to have a lower probability of engaging in wars, while dictatorships can have a higher chance of wars. Dictatorship and democracy differ significantly in their political power distribution and the way they start wars. In a democracy, power is distributed among the people through free and fair elections, and leaders are accountable to the citizens. Democracies are less likely to start wars because leaders are not politically powerful enough to start a war by themselves without broad public support. Even if Germany wants to invade another country to start a war, their citizens won't let that happen, and they are capable of doing it. On the other hand, in a dictatorship, power is concentrated in the hands of a single person or a small group. Dictatorships are more likely to start wars because they are not accountable to their citizens and often suppress individual liberty, free expression, and fundamental rights. Therefore, when the top of the country decides to start a war, there is no way for its citizens to stop it. To be surprised, there are around 50 nations governed by a dictatorship or authoritarian regime out of more than 190 countries, and many wars and conflicts worldwide are happening around these regions. The two famous ongoing wars both involve dictatorships. Russia is governed by the Putin dictatorship regime, and the Russian-Ukraine war happened. Besides, the Israeli-Palestine conflict stemmed from the Hamas attack, which was not a democratic decision. The same principle applies to historical wars as well. World War II began on September 1, 1939, when Nazi Germany invaded Poland. As you know, it was caused by the Hitler's dictatorship. In conclusion, 3 conditions that affect the chance of war are if countries have equal military power, if a country is a member of an alliance, and if countries are governed by dictatorship or democracy. Think about your own countries. If it's a dictatorship regime, good luck. However, if it's a democratic country, your vote may change the military budget and foreign policy. We hope these facts help you understand what situations your countries are in. In the end, please like this video and subscribe to this channel if you like this content. See you in the next video.